But we have the EX03 Hidden Chapter. You get 8 turns daily. Yeah, I saw that it has that, but I didn't know what the gameplay was. You get 6-star oh my gosh. So I definitely should have been doing it. Because I haven't touched it yet. Other than just getting that daily claim. Oh, I just noticed you joined the server. I will hit the hi button and do a weird sticker. Enough delay. Let's see what the story is. Silence. Oh, is this gonna be between Washu and Luna? Is that what the extra chapter is? Or the hidden chapter? Fun fact, I almost named my stream Lost Chapter EX03 Hidden Chapter, and then I realized how weird that sounded, so I just named it the Hidden Chapter EX03. You haven't done any of the new story? It's pretty good. It's a lot of backstory for the characters, mostly. There's some backstory for the obvious characters, Chungyu and Chu. And then for a character that is not coming out for a long time, but was interesting to notice it. But I won't spoil it if you want to find out yourself. I don't know how much you care. Oh my gosh, YYK. Let the characters exist. They're new here. Washu, are you there? I don't know what there refers to, but I am currently in my active startup cycle. Next startup cycle is in. I don't care about that. That conversation you showed me earlier. Are you referring to the hour-long conversation? Yes, play it back for me again. As you wish. Oh, what are we seeing now? Oh, it's the survival thing. Oh, Luna's trying to figure out the secret of what they did. Oh no, hopefully she doesn't find out. Yeah, some of the new characters look so fun, the buffs the characters are getting. But yeah, no, what I was referring to is, oh, what's her name again? Pulau. Pulau showed up in the story, and I didn't expect that at all. But we know a little bit about Pulau now. But we don't get her as a character for a very long time, over a year. Yeah. Little girl floating around on a sword. On a giant sword. She looks so fun, I can't wait till she comes out. Hoshu, how can humanity survive under such circumstances? All data has been parsed, but no such method exists. Regardless of the method, humanity will only end in destruction. Earth has already experienced 5 mass extinctions. Humanity is merely a visitor on this age-old planet. Did I get far in Stronghold or Border Pact? Not really. I'm like over halfway, a little over halfway in Stronghold. Border Pact, I've literally done the first one. I got frustrated with Border Pact. Not gonna lie. Border Pact is really frustrating to get through, and I just haven't been in the mood to try hard. If I ever get in the mood for it, I'll push through it, but it is rough. After hearing Huashu's response, Shu closes her eyes. You malted out the no retry trophy? Oh god. I was trying to, and then I gave up and just let the retries happen and just pushed through it for the one I did. According to the consciousness simulation, you already know the answer to this question before asking me. Why did you ask? Chu stands there in silence. The motion sensor has detected that you have not moved in over 20 seconds. Can we only place our hopes in the future, but people in the present? I don't understand your question. That was a rhetorical question, Washu. What if we expand the scope of civilization from humanity to incorporate the rest of the Earth? Would you still give me the same response, Washu? This conflicts with your original intent. The goal is worthless if it is unattainable at the onset. Oh my gosh. So clearly that means you eventually have to push for all of them, right? Good luck. I want something that can actually be achieved. I've adjusted the input range and parameters to meet your requirements. I want results. Very low probability, but not impossible. Changing the scope has made certain options possible now. That'll do. Fair. Why do you say so? Perhaps I'm beginning to understand my mixed emotions. I really hope Luna doesn't figure it out, but I feel like she's going to. Don't you find it strange that you are showing me this piece of information? I am simply presenting the facts as they were, that is all. I cannot comprehend what has led you to form this view. I have detected silence that does not conform to the logic of the current conversation. All I know is, what you showed me was not what I had asked for, and it's not what we decrypted from your main memory. So, as an AI without emotions, who inspired you to show me these records? I didn't think an AI could fall silent. Well, Villiers was trying to give Washu emotions. This involves highly classified information. Very well. We will find out whether you like it or not. Say, maybe even now. Digital signal 87533 DE4 error. Looks like you aren't very good at keeping secrets. This digital signature leads to the record you just showed me. I need to know who left it. Tell me. Unauthorized access. Unauthorized access. Access granted. Code 87533-DE4 is the Kulong Chamber of Commerce's highest encryption authority. It was directly signed by the leader encapsulated within a permanent digital watermark. I must not divulge this information. If there is something I want to know, you can't hide it from me. Don't blame yourself, even though I know you won't. Oh my gosh, Bree. So, why would the leader of Kulong want to give this information to the enemy? Additional information on the signature uncovered. Shall I display it? I see. This Kulong leader even knew I'd get my hands on this information. Show me. I already know who saw this message, but I want to clarify something. Kulong and tabula kasha are just necessary measures taken with the belief that mankind is bound to perish. But I'm not afraid. Even if there is the smallest of chances, I believe in the possibilities of mankind. So if anyone can defeat me and take Huashu, the moment Huashu is taken, I will decrypt all memory files. There's no need to waste time. These files are necessary to rebuild civilization. KCC Leader, Ju. Playback complete. I have once more detected silence that does not conform to the current conversation logic. Perhaps. This explains why we extracted data from the database almost effortlessly. Even effortlessly finding information on an experimental high-gain antenna cluster belonging to the world government, buried somewhere in the Arctic Route Union. I wonder if this happens after the last chapter, or if this happened before it, and that's why they went there. I have trouble parsing whether your speech is sarcastic or complacent. Perhaps both. After all, your leader must have never expected you to end up in the hands of humanity's enemy when leaving this message. I am unable to discern your relations to human civilization, but I will faithfully execute the orders of Lady Chu. Aren't you curious about what I will do when I get my hands on the antenna cluster? Maybe I'll just act like the people before the Golden Age, wearing wreaths on their heads, broadcasting pop music around the world. That just makes me think of her punk outfit. I have no curiosity function. If that is what you want, I am only programmed to tell you how to achieve your goal. How dull. Forget it, the last puzzle piece is up ahead. Let's finish this, I'm getting sick of humanity. Welp. Oh geez, there's only one playable stage. This is just gonna be a bunch of cutscenes in one stage? I didn't expect that. Gabriel, do you think Miss Luna has been acting quite strange recently? She's even appearing on the battlefield. Our leader appearing on the battlefield boosts troop morale. It shouldn't be considered strange. Forget it. With that, Roland picks up a stone and chucks it at a tree behind him. The stone, however, does not connect with the tree. Instead, it stops midair. Then, slowly, a hand grows out of the stone, slowly corporealizing into a body, arm, torso, until the figure reveals itself coiling around the tree with several legs. You threw something at Lamia, you jerk. Watch out! Why'd you throw that at me? Reminds me, can she really handle it all by herself? I guess? She said we don't have to provide her with any support. We can just withdraw once we complete our mission. Sounds like something she'd say. You spend more time with Miss Luna than we do. Don't you find it a bit off? No, not really. But I guess Miss Luna has been spending more time by herself than usual. And you still don't find it strange, huh? But Miss Luna and Miss Alpha are just the same as ever. Oh, you're just... I had you keep an eye on her. Any news? Probably Selena? Well, you got nothing with a direct confrontation. What makes you think I'd have any updates? She seems to be traveling aimlessly as usual. Oh, maybe Nanami. I don't know, I guess we'll find out. That's the dog that didn't bark, dear Watson. Based on the signal we recently sent out to South America, she seems to be acting as if nothing happened. Maybe she didn't catch the news. As you know, ground relay is slower than it used to be. Is there any possibility that we've all been gravely mistaken? What if she doesn't really care? Roland is very suspicious of the other Ascendants. Really, really suspicious. If so, then she is by no means a good agent. Who stipulated that an agent must be loyal to their duty? Do you even know how agents are created? Look, even we don't know. Not agents know nothing about agents. That's the issue. Roland is about to continue when Lamia points off into the distance. It's beginning. Roland and Gabriel look to where Lamia is pointing and see the Arctic Root Union surrounded by an explosion of fire and smoke. What's going on? Wouldn't forcing them away achieve her goal already? Miss Luna is trying to bring destruction upon them all. This does not bode well. We've revealed our hand too early. All while Babylonia and she still have their hands covered. We're forced to be on the passive. I'm so curious who the she is. Oh, hello, Raziel. Thank you for the hydrate. Must hug the one on the right. Just be careful with the device, might stab you. Device on her chest. Me mark that off. I can only assume she is Nanami, but it could also possibly be Chu, if Chu survived. We were never really given a clear answer for that, if she died or lived. Let us wait and consult with Miss Luna when she returns. Perhaps we no longer need to lurk in the dark. Maybe, just maybe. Oh? This strikes me as a friend of Nanami. So, are you still going to side with them? Shadows outstretched, the room is bathed in darkness. The robot looks over at a mysterious figure standing half illuminated before it. The shadowy figure lights a fire, leaving a fiery dot in the darkness, trailing with a puff of white smoke. Indeed, this is all quite amusing. And with the addition of Huashu, this has become all the more interesting. Okay, this doesn't sound like Nanami. Oh, if only I hadn't spared your life. I'd say the same thing if I were you. I'm sure me being alive has been quite the thorn in your side. But as you know, I've never really cared about it. You're still of use to me now. Useful to you, or do you mean the two old guys above you? Is this robot from Babylonia? You know I can't answer you that. I never expected you to anyways. So what's with Huashu? What information do you have in exchange? Enough intel to keep you away from the tip of Babylonia's spear in the coming days. Fair enough. Let me ask you this. What purpose does Huashu serve? Huashu is an AI. As for its purpose, that is for its owner to decide. You're right. My point is, Huashu may have a new master, but has her master really changed? The shadowy figure shakes their head and nods. The mechanical joints in their hands clench and loose. Finally, a few chuckles slide out of the speaker. So, The plot thickens. Last question. How big of a piece do you want of the pie? Who said I only wanted a piece? What if I want the whole pie? You can certainly try. Doing robot voices is fun. Huh, 2 cutscenes in that. Well, I'm kinda glad we've been hanging out chatting and kinda delaying it. This is a shorter chapter than I expected. This gameplay with Luna? Please say that this is a preview of Luna's gameplay. Please. Do I have enough? No, I need a tiny bit more. Why do I have 1 2-week one? Oh. I'll check that. I'll do the weird 2-week one. Out of place. Hello, Arsham. Apparently the hidden chapter is only 3 parts. We're doing the last part now. Oh, it's my own team. Okay, if we're fighting Luna with Alpha, that's kind of sad. But max 1 unit. Okay. We're fighting Luna with Alpha. It might just throw me in something random, but who knows. Hassan straightens his back. He is standing in front of a huge porthole on the command bridge. The pale blue planet before him takes up most of the porthole view. Slowly rotating, he observes in silence. A peculiar atmosphere filled the bridge. The crew rarely saw Hassan's quiet side. Hassan was one to always make his presence known, whether it was issuing orders, formulating tactics, or even if it is just to keep others in high spirits. This is not the usual Hassan. The only thing the crew could see are the thin outline of his neck and the grey tufts of hair. Flustered, Celica begins to hear whispers around her as icons and documents pass before her eyes. The voices begin to fill her head with cacophonous roar. Supply lists, troop mobilizations, power negotiations, reports, maps sent by reconnaissance, grey market transactions with the Forsaken, intel mandates for the Akdalek. Celica scans the various technical documents with her eyepiece, selecting key intel to be reduced into 200-word reports. Hassan has no time for the details, so she must ensure that everything is complete and correct. Never had Celica's work been as exhausting as today's. I still have a long day ahead of me. How am I already tired? Damn it. Just how many summary reports are there to file? Miss Celica, this is the detailed supply request and defense enhancement plan submitted by the personnel from the ARU's core logistics team. Oh, apologies. I have a high priority HUMIT intel report to file. Now's not the time to lose your cool. Understood. Submit it to the database through the compliance link according to Omega confidentiality protocols. Oh, it might have been Transcendent. Like, you can just use Transcendence whenever you want. It's just you get debuffs if it's the wrong kind. It's either now or never. This is the only choice according to your plan. There's no time to waste. I know. Communications relay terminated. President. What is it? Hassan turns to face Celica, but his face reveals an expression she had never seen from him before. Vacant, hesitant, perhaps even a hint of fear. If Celica had to describe his expression, it would be like someone killed for the first time. The expression fades from Hassan's face in the blink of an eye. He returns to normal, as if nothing had ever happened. As of 10 minutes ago, a total of 76 decision reports have been sent to your encrypted terminal. Please be sure to process them at your earliest convenience. Got it. However, I've already given them a once-over. There aren't any urgent documents that require an immediate response from you today. If there's anything that requires your attention today, or if you'd like a day off, I don't think Babylonia will go up in smoke. I see. Sen shows a non-committal expression. He raises his head slightly, as if trying to persuade himself to Celica's proposal. I'm serious, President. How much sleep did you get last night? I didn't get any. What the hell is happening in the next chapter? Something big is gonna happen next chapter. Please, go get some sleep. That's not necessary, Asen says as he reaches for his encrypted terminal, but Celica grabs it first. Please, go get some sleep. But I still have 76 decision reports to process, right? None of which require a response from you today. Alright, if you insist. With that, Asen snatches the encrypted terminal from Celica's hand and stuffs it into his pocket. I'll process these laying down. That'll count as rest. Asen leaves. He hobbles slightly away from the command bridge. He descends the stairs a bit slower than usual, perhaps due to exhaustion. This caused him to bump into someone on the stairs. Bless me. What's wrong? It's not like you to leave the command bridge so early. It's not like you to come to the command bridge at this time as well. I brought something that you need to look at immediately. Nicola raises the hard drive in his hand. The bright red top secret seal is visible on it. Let's go to the conference room. Celica cannot help but sigh at the sight of Asen and Nicola turning to enter the conference room. Forget it. ETI, Eden Tactical Interface, version 1.417. Loading shell system. Loading topographic data. Loading record file serial 3394275 beta. Oh, it's actually not done. 74%. 100% done. Starting broadcast. What's this top secret thing? Alex. Don't know that person. Interesting outfit. Are they a construct of some sort without a human face? Or is that some armor? That helmet looks too small to fit a head in it, but I mean it's a game. I've seen games do that before. Testing. This is Palex of the Babylonia Task Force. Ouroboros HQ. This is the Ouroboros team. We have entered the mission site according to plan and have begun surveillance mission on New Murmansk. What are they doing in New Murmansk? And Ouroboros. That's a menacing name for a team in Babylonia. As the construct by the name of Palex finishes speaking, he rotates the camera away from himself and points at a cluster of mountains. I will oversee the on-site command. Sergeant Norwell is accompanying me. Time to sleep? Okay, Broku. Thanks for dropping in. Nice to finally speak with ya. Have a good night. Well, that's what I was saying, Neko, is it looks too small to be a helmet, so I could see it being just his head as a construct. Hey, Norwell, are you in position? With Palex's shout, a response comes over from where the camera is pointing out in the distance. I was in place ages ago. I'm already filling out the artillery range table. Copy. Now entering monitoring position. Following Palex's motion, the camera jumps to a well-camouflaged surveillance bunker up front. I'm in position. Finished with the pre-calibration? If so, send it on over. 7 pre-calibrated locations, 2 hot zones transmitted to your terminal. I have just one problem. Well, spit it out. Why send 2 Babylonia task forces on independent missions to New Murmansk? You should know when to keep your mouth shut. Do you know who we take orders from? Commander Nicola, no? Alright then, there's your answer. You mean... learn to keep your mouth shut. So I see... two of them have been doing separate missions, not working together. At the same time, in the Arctic Route Union Captain's office in New Murmansk airport ruins, once an air traffic control tower, the place was refitted into an office. Captain, this is a fleet service report. Oh, it's Stason. Well, looks like it's over. Fortunately, we finished everything up before spring. A stranger in a white coat walks out of the shadows. Indeed. Now we just need to dispose of Amberia's remains in the Research Institute, then clear up any loose ends with those involved. I'll handle the Research Institute. I'll leave you to clear up the loose ends. I don't want to deal with this kind of shit anymore. Take care of it ASAP. If this affects our first trip out to sea, there won't be enough food to sustain us. Relax. This cover-up will be easy now that Babylonia is getting involved. As long as no one connects us with this bit of history, we should be able to continue on peacefully with those hypocritical Babylonians and Forsaken. And of course, I'll leave you to placate the forest guards as well, Captain. The man pats Stason on the shoulder and turns to leave. What's going on, Captain? That's Kaplan, the research director of the former Research Institute. Oh, the guy's still alive? Really? From the buildings in the settlement to servicing our ships, we couldn't have done it without the support from the former Research Institute. I'm just returning the favor. In other words, you've been cooperating with these sinners, haven't you? How do you think I've maintained the ARU for so long? Enough. Next up, take what you can from the Research Institute and distribute them accordingly, then destroy the Institute, and with that, we will erase our debt. This will just barely pull the wool over Babylonia's eyes. As for the Forest Guard, sin will no longer coax them into serving the ARU. We must treat them with kindness. After all, I did absolve the Forest Guard of sin. I'm sure they will give us the respect we deserve. I can't criticize your behavior as a member of the ARU, but what could go wrong? We weren't the ones that sent them to the Institute. I just did everything within my power. Alright, this matter is over and done with. No more further complications. You don't want past ghosts coming back to haunt the ARU, do you? I liked you in your chapter. I don't like you so much anymore. It's almost spring. Our top priority is ensure we have a stable food supply. I don't know if I like this guy that much. Oi, let me tag along when you be going out to sea this spring. I need some sardines to make salted fish. The captain of the ARU, who seemed to be doing everything he could to help, he kind of redeemed himself a little bit in his story last patch, and now he's making himself look like he's sketchy again. Salted fish? Where'd you get the salt? Someone over by the captain said there were 2 or 3 warehouses full of daily goods in the ruins of the old research thingy. We're lucky. There'd be salt. A whole lot of salt. And that's why I decided I'd pick up my old man's business of selling salted fish. You guys live by the ocean. You can make salt. I haven't had your old man's salted fish in ages. Save some of the first batch for me. As the 2 men are talking, a white light suddenly appears. Starting as a white glow in the sky, it expands rapidly in front of the 2 fishermen, burning their eyes in a flash. The two men hid behind cover to escape the blinding inferno, trying desperately not to look directly at it. What's that? A sunrise? Are you that dumb? It's already noon, dumbo. Whatever that is, it ain't the sun. The port beside becomes submerged in the increasing intensity of the light. Under the gazes of the two fishermen, the steel buildings turn to dust in blistering heat rivaling that of the sun. Stunned at the sight of complete annihilation, the two did not notice the warning given to them. But to the warning giver, what was said had already been said. Leave. The white figure summons what appeared to be a railgun from a void around her. Oh. It begins charging energy. The heat from the railgun brings the fishermen back to reality. They finally notice the white figure before them, and with that came fear. Ah! Help! I can't help but laugh doing those. Oh, she's wearing a mask now. I've seen her with this mask before. I have no idea what it means, but... It's been a while since I've tapped into the power of Astnet. I might be a little rusty with controlling it. But no matter, let this be a warning. Not to mention, the white figure finishes charging the railgun-like object and fires a pillar of light in the other direction. Neither hostility nor an act of oppression. The white figure moving without haste. It would be too much to even call this a fight. Rather, this must be punishment for previous wrongdoing. Why is the mask over her hair? I mean, it could just be a really bulky mask, but you could have also just put it on and got her hair caught under it. I mean, they're machines, right? She probably technically doesn't actually need her eyes. Ignoring all the actions of those punished, she proceeds forward as she continues her onslaught. Damn it. What is that thing? Compare visual features. Hurry. The captured image have been sent to your terminal. It's Luna. Damn it. Why is she here? What strategic value does this serve to the Ascendants? No, it doesn't matter either. It's not like we can access this intel. We'll just have to do what we can for now. Connection request sent to Babylonia. However, it'll take some time to establish a handshake protocol. I won't hold my breath. Let us use a server in the nearby conservation area to set up the data transfer. That way, even if we can't establish a connection, we'll still have a copy of the data sent in the conversation area. Then we'll release the 2 drones we brought to capture imagery and energy readings on Luna from as many angles as possible. Then what? What else is there? All we can do is wait on Babylonia. What? Don't think that you can be a hero just because you have special equipment. We need to send the correct data to Babylonia instead of getting killed here. Who knows? Roger that. There is still gameplay to this one, right? Even though Luna has already destroyed most of the port area with her display of power, this also gives the people in the settlement enough of a warning to assemble their forces. Oh god, they're gonna try and fight. Though Luna is nowhere to be seen for the Arctic dwellers, with the havoc she has wreaked, it is more than enough to throw the settlement into chaos. What's going on? Where are the attacks coming from? Oh, my house! Who can tell me what's going on here? A railgun. Someone is shooting at us with what appears to be a railgun. Hurry, dispatch all messengers. New Sophiasburg, the border commune, and the Forsaken must all be notified. Do whatever it takes to call reinforcements. New Sophiasburg? Did she name a town after Sophia? That's kinda cute. but I didn't expect it. There's no time for that. Captain, we still have a ship. How about... Scouts report that the enemy is 5 kilometers away and closing. There's no time to embark. Damn it, I guess all we can do is... stay calm. If we all work together, nothing will. While Stason tries to ease the sailors, he suddenly notices the research director leaving the settlement, accompanied by several people in white coats. Halt, Kaplan, where do you think you're going? Are you joking? Who would want to die in this pathetic excuse of a settlement? I'm going to the Research Institute for a while, then I'm going south in search of Akdalek. Are you joking? What makes you think I'm joking? I don't know what you're up against, but it has nothing to do with me. Damn you, Kaplan. Stason, since when did you think we were equals? Please pull out a gun and shoot the fucker. Please? Please? Do as you please. I'm leaving. Coward. Hearing Stason's response, the research director gives him a menacing glare, then turns to leave. Shoot him! Captain? I'm sorry you had to see that. Anyways, let's do all we can. And he reminded me, the walls of the Institute are interlaid with armor for defense purposes. He has a key to open the armored door, but so do I. If he doesn't care, neither do I. If we can't maintain a defensive line, we'll retreat into the Research Institute as well. Understood. What about the elderly and the children who have difficulty moving? Evacuate them to the refugee shelters beneath the old theater. 3 rooms should be able to comfortably hold over 100 people. If we win, we'll let them out. If we lose, someone will let them out, eventually. That's the best we can do. Damn it, why do I still have to foot the bill for this mess? I mean, you made some bad decisions, my friend. 30 minutes later. Battle has ended before it even begins, leaving Stason stupefied over their current situation. All they can see are melted buildings, punctured steel, exploded ammunition, and bodies evaporated by light. They do not even know how the barricades and bunkers disintegrated, or how that devastating white light melted half of the air control tower like butter. Stason and all those still standing could do nothing but retreat to the safety of the Research Institute. The white figure maintains pursuit, never too far, never too close. Why is she here? What for? Stason no longer cares anymore. He has long since lost the strength to do so. Living. That is the only concern in his mind right now. Let's go. Retreat into the bunker. Amid flames and explosions, the group moves along the ruins for cover all the way to the nearby Research Institute. Captain, what are we gonna do when we get there? We don't stand a chance against her. That Kaplan won't stay calm. As soon as danger approaches, he'll play the ace up his sleeve. Then, just like Stason foretold, several turrets and missile launchers protrude from the wall of the Institute and begin firing at Luna. Explosions and smoke envelop her in an instant. It's not going to do anything to her. The turrets continue to bombard the area in an unending stream of explosions. Captain, what do we do now? What else is there to do? While they're busy fighting, we run. As the bombardment continues, Stason and the others make their way to the Research Institute entrance. Stason inputs the key code, and everyone enters the elevator and proceeds underground. I feel like this is gonna go badly. Alright, we'll be safe underground. Once the fighting is over outside, we'll look for Kaplan, and we'll make him pay, slowly. I don't know about that. What in the world? Captain, Yes? Where are we? This is the safest place in the entire research institute. Where the armor plating is thickest, this place isn't on the map. It's where Institute conducted preliminary screenings for test subjects. In other words, it's an execution chamber. What did you say? See these pillars? Kaplan and the others tell them that this is the reception hall of peace. When the time comes, test subjects were taken into the sealed observation room and then injected with experimental drugs. Just like that, they would filter out the most suitable test subjects from over 200 people to proceed into the next phase. That Kaplan must be in the observation room as we speak. Captain, how do you know this place so well? Did you... The second mate begins to raise his voice, but Stason rushes over to cover his mouth. Quiet. He's busy dealing with that monster right now. He won't have the time to check what's going on behind the observation room, so we can sneak in once the battle subsides. Got it? Keep quiet and I'll let go. How much do you really know? Well, I didn't help them kill anyone. When this is over, Captain, you have a lot to confess. What's that? This can't be. There's 6 floors of armor plating disguised as steel structures. Even railguns shouldn't be able to. What on earth are we up against? Someone who's looking for this facility. Something tells me those pillars are probably the transmitter she's looking for. It's coming from the wall in the direction of the observation room. Hurry, hide behind the pillars. Just as Stason and the others hide behind the pillars, the wall in the direction of the observation room begins to glow red and blister right before their eyes. And then an explosion shoots fragments throughout the hall like a shotgun blast. The 3 pillars take the brunt of the damage. A black mass is thrown into the hall as the terrifying and familiar white figure floats in. It's Kaplan. The remaining half of the man thrown onto the ground is wrapped in a white coat, lying amid the wreckage of the concrete and steel. Well, he did. I wanted him to shoot him, but hey, Luna blew him in half, okay. Ah, what? What is it you want? I'll give you anything. That won't be necessary. How lucky I must be. You telling me about this place is more than enough. I've already found what I'm looking for. Luna shifts her gaze from the languishing body on the ground to the remnants of the 3 pillars. You are of no use to me now. Luna waves her hand to summon the railgun. The frightened man drags the remnants of his body towards the pillars. No, please, no! Why are you running? You know it is meaningless. Having said that, Luna makes no attempt at stopping the desperately crawling man, nor does she even aim the railgun at him. It seems as if she's waiting for something. Knows what waffles? Oh my gosh. Hello, Lilith. Welcome to the stream. Nice to meet you. The research director finally climbs to a half-collapsed pillar, but just as he is about to seek cover behind it, he sees Stason hiding behind one of the pillars. You! But right at that moment, a white beam of destruction devours him. Come out. Don't think you can hide from me. Gameplay? Do we finally get gameplay? I can tell you that Luna's stomping everyone. Are we fighting Luna, or do we get to play Luna? We're fighting Luna. This seems really rude that I'm fighting Luna with Alpha. Why? Do you mean why I killed him, or why I want to kill you? It's all for the same reason. Sorry, I don't want him to die right now. He still has a lot to explain. Oh, is this technically we're playing the second mate defending him? Oh, you're kidding me. Of course you're gonna give me a triple blue. Oh, phase change? Oh. Oh, there's still time. Ow. Okay, that's an X. Oh. Yeah, that's enough. And she dashes away into a portal. Sneak preview of the fight, I guess. I get to see. Oh! She killed Alpha! No! Why would she hurt her sister? I'm assuming it's supposed to be the second mate, but. Depression. May he rest in peace. You're the only one left. You're right. He didn't run. Humans, how pathetic we are sometimes. Never dying when they should, and when they realize they must live, they try to end it all again. What are you trying to say? I always thought that a day would come for when I finally put this all to rest. The Forest Guard will gradually earn their freedom. We'll gradually free ourselves from the technology of the old institute, and we forget all of this bullshit, as if it never happened. Everyone can bathe in the sunlight without any grudges. Perhaps I could have too. Now I know that time will never come. Are these your last words? I mean, it only takes off a full life bar if you have a really well-built character, right? I think a big part of it, and I kind of agree, I would rather them scale up the life than scale up the defenses. Because when you scale up defensive stats, it can make it impossible for someone lower level to defeat the boss. It can make the fight much more punishing. But if you just increase the life and don't increase their tankiness, then even an undergeared someone that is good at the game and practices can still beat the boss. And I know I've seen people defeat some of the hardest bosses in PGR with some of the weakest units and do it with no hits and stuff, and that's a fun, exciting thing to do, right? I personally much prefer this design to Honkai's, because Honkai scales everything up, especially the defensives, and if you don't have best in slot sets for everyone, like Triple S Memorial Arena, you can't do it. You're not even going to be able to kill it. There's no way in hell you're going to scratch it, because it just has way too much defensive stats. You just don't do any damage to it. You need to have perfect gear, whereas in PGR that isn't as much of a problem. As much as I can kind of understand where you're coming, that, oh, what's the point of so many health bars, it makes sense from a making the game more casual friendly, and allowing people to challenge themselves, I guess. If you want to try and beat something with a really weak character. They can leave the high defensives and the ridiculous scaling to things like Babel. It's nothing but a visual effect, but people can much quicker understand a number than they can a bar full of pixels, right? I mean, they could put a percentage, I guess, but a percentage isn't as obvious as it started at 50 life bars, it's now at 10. It doesn't matter the percentage, you know you've gotten rid of 40 life bars. It's just a different mentality of understanding how to do it. It also makes things feel a little more epic. When you see a boss that has 80 life bars, oh my god, that's crazy. Most enemies only have 1 or 2. But then you compare that to any other game, everything has 100%. That's not exciting, it doesn't make them look bigger. It gives you a better sense of scale, basically. But I don't know, I personally think it works well. It does get excessive in some games. I know there's some games I know DNF Duel introduced me to looking up things for Dungeon Fighter Online. Dungeon Fighter Online has bosses with thousands of health bars. That's a little excessive. That's a little excessive. But the way PGR does it, I like it. Yeah, that's another thing too, is seeing a whole life bar disappear with a super move or something is satisfying. It's just about trying... Like, that's the thing. It's partially about making the information transparent, but it's also about just mental state. It just feels good to know I took out 3 health bars with 1 attack, whereas if it was just a percentage, it's like, oh, I took off 5%, 10%, but I do that on other enemies all the time. I mean, it's not really more than you're actually doing, it just gives you a better representation of what you're doing. Right? Because you're actually doing that. If you had a bar that was just 100%, you're still doing the same amount of damage. It's better represented and broken down so you can see it better. And making it more obvious to the player makes the player appreciate it more. It's a psychology thing. And it's honestly a really good touch to get people excited in things like boss fights. The average player is going to prefer this system over just a percentage bar. Yeah. No, if anything, this is my repent. Trembling, Stason takes out what appears to be a detonator from his coat. It's okay, you don't need to do anything. I've long since been ready to go down with this ship. I just hope you stop. Please, don't hurt the A or you anymore. Luna summons up several blades around her hand. She sends them flying, cutting open a section of each of the 3 pillars and exposing a back mechanical antenna structure in each. That is your problem. Looks like it. Basin presses the detonator, triggering a continuous dull rumble to shake the wall. The whole hull deforms and disintegrates in an instant, completely covering Stason in rubble. I'm assuming she's going to protect the antennas. Yeah, I'd love to see it in Final Fantasy. If there was like 100 life bars instead of a percentage, it would be easier to tell what's going on, and it would just be more exciting. But trust me, Neko, I don't know if you've ever played WoW. I used to play a lot of World of Warcraft, and I played it before the first stat squish. And you can say that it's overinflated numbers, but that was a game that used percentage for a life bar and only 1 life bar. That was overinflated numbers. The numbers were absurd flying on your screen, and you couldn't tell what you were doing. Because it could say that you did 2 million damage, but it didn't even take a pixel off their health bar. There's no representation of how much you're doing. Splitting it into multiple life bars makes it very apparent how much you're doing. So maybe you're just looking at it as a final goal. You're just saying, I have to do 100% anyway. But if you're trying to learn a fight and improve, or if you're trying to see which moves do more damage, it's really hard to see that with just a 100% life bar. Whereas doing something with 100 life bars, it's very clear. You get to see a lot easier how much damage you're doing over time. It's just more accurate. It's breaking it down in a way that's easier to see. Because again, the numbers aren't inflated. The numbers don't change. It's the exact same numbers no matter what. In order to stay balanced, the numbers have to stay the same. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Neko, you're missing the point, I think. It's not about 50 life bars. It's about how it's represented. If it was 1 life bar and 50 million health, that's still the same number as 50 million health with 50 life bars. But now, if I do 100,000 damage, that might not even take a pixel off the percentage life bar, but on the 50 life bar one, that's going to take out a chunk out of one life bar, and I'll see that. You saw the gameplay for FF15? I haven't actually played 15 yet. I know Bree plans to play it soon. I've thought about playing it. I own the game, I just never touched it yet. I play a lot of 14 though. But yeah, you're kind of interpreting it as 50 life bars means 50 times the life. It's not that it's 50 times the life, it's you're breaking it into 50 so that it's easier to read and understand. To try blitzing through Okami? I haven't even gotten to watch you play it yet at all. I'll have to watch you the next time you play it, Ree. I don't actually know what the FF15 bar is like. But let's see. You saw the Nier collab? Oh, are you talking about FF14? I don't think it was FF15. Are you talking about Rexlent's video? Rexlent's video was FF14. Yeah, Rexlent is playing FF14. He did the Nier collab raid he showed, which was fun. Yeah, it is a really simple health bar. It's just a percentage. I wish they had multiple health bars in 14. I wonder if someone would make a plugin for that, honestly. That might encourage me to get plugins, because that would make it much more visible. And yeah, that's the point though, Neko. It's not to make the player think they did more damage than they did, it's so that the player can see how much damage they did. It's very subtle wording difference, but it's not very exciting to do big numbers and not see it. Having multiple life bars makes everything more obvious and easier to keep track of. But we're not machines, right? You can't give me a percentage. I don't know if it ever will, huh? I won't lie, Bree. That thought alone... That thought alone almost makes me want to look into the plugins and see how they're made. I'm tempted to see if I could make one. I wouldn't mind making an HP bar plugin. If Rexlent didn't have percentages while IK, that's because he didn't turn them on. FF14 does have percentages, and it does have like decimals to it, so you can have point whatever. It's just he didn't turn it on. It's a option. And yeah, I mean, I do want to look into lots of things, and I usually do. I mean, if it was too complicated, if I thought it would take me more than like an afternoon to make, I wouldn't do it. But if it's something I can quickly program, it'd be really nice. But let's see. Luna glances at the pile of rubble that used to be Stason, and then turns to leave through the entrance. She doesn't even care. Forsaken and a Forest Guard have aroused an offensive. That's good enough. You can head back, sis. Let them come. Sure, if I keep fighting, I don't know how much longer I can hold back. Is your work finished? Yes, I got the antennas buried in the pillars, just as Hwashu said. I see. Yet you don't look pleased. Just witnessing stupidity, as always. Is that so? Tell the others to retreat. I'll catch up with you later. I've already contacted Roland and Lamia. We'll be stopping the attackers in other directions. But Gabriel... We can leave him. I'll retreat shortly after. Closing the communications link, Luna silently surveys the wave of destruction left in her wake. Why go so far? Her mind echoes with confusion that had been festering since the onset. Washu? Yes? Even after reading the information you showed me, I still can't understand what this so-called human possibility is. As a population, humans are extremely complex creatures, which cannot be explained by a single definition. That doesn't mean your analysis for Chu was correct. Without further information, Sender Luna is unwilling to explain the nature of ASNet to assist in computing. It's not something that you, made by humanity, can understand. Alright, enough. Sender Luna's question does not yield a valid response. That will not be necessary. The Ascension Net is the only way forward. Only those who can share their power with me are qualified to live here once all of this is over. Until then, it's pointless to mull over it. Were they actually spying on her the whole time? Did they actually get all that? That's all worthwhile info. It's unusual for the Ascendants to attack a human base directly. Don't forget about Kulong. You mean she had an ulterior motive? We won't know exactly what they're trying, but judging from previous behavior, that seems likely. Other than this, there's something I'm more concerned about. Ascend taps a few times on the control panel. It seems to have loaded a filter template. The holographic window immediately pulls a close-up of Luna, highlighting the area. What did you do? Info all thanks to Grey Raven Commandant. Looks like you're slower than I am. I have the original data. You have the research data. They're not the same. Not to mention, The direction is different, I understand, but it serves the same purpose. Nicola does not respond, instead he makes some adjustments on the control panel, sorting the energy distribution of the highlighted areas throughout the entirety of the battle along a time axis chart. After staring at the chart for quite some time, Nicola stands up as if something had come to mind. What is it? I just thought of something. I need to get going. Ascend looks at the open door of the conference room with a strange expression. I guess I really should hit the sack, but before that, I should take this to Asimov. Ascend unplugs the hard drive from the terminal and leaves the conference room. So he probably found out some secret about the Ascendants. Yeah, it's more about they don't want the toxicity and they don't want people cheating. Because there's definitely been people who've done cheating and stuff with plugin, But yeah, they're a tiny bit problematic. I've avoided them till now. But something like the life bar thing would be really helpful to me. There's a few other plugins, honestly, I wouldn't mind having. I just haven't bothered getting them. It also just sucks because they have to be updated for each patch. Hours after Luna destroyed the Arctic Root Union, standing on the ruins and dust from the disaster, Watanabe and Rosetta's olfactory receptors are accosted by a foul and pungent odor. Wreckage and blackened earth cover the surrounding area. All they can see is shapeless debris and red scorch marks from the high-temperature blasts. Rosetta and Diana cannot imagine that once bustling settlement is now filled with the sound of flames and crackling debris. How can this be? Rosetta remains silent and begins searching through the ruins for possible survivors. Seeing this, everyone appears to come to their senses. This is what should be done at a time like this, not just sit here and wallow in pain. Everyone spread out a meter apart and begin searching. Roger. Rosetta, what is it? Diana watches Rosetta pick up a massive section of flooring with superhuman strength and throws it like cardboard to one side. Do you really think we'll find any survivors? Won't know unless we try. What? Quiet. Make yourself useful. Do not forget hope out of fear. We will never give up hope. Right? Diana nods thoughtfully and accompanies Rosetta in taking the forest guards to clean up the ruins. On the other side, Clark, who had just finished his report, notices that Watanabe is no longer responding as diligently as normal. Rather, he appears to be lost in contemplation as he watches people hurriedly working in the ruins. Might be a good idea. Leader? Go and help. As Rosetta said, we can't forget hope out of shock and fear. I need to think about further down the road. Watanabe's eyes move away from the people working in the ruins. He turns to look up at the sky severed by black smoke, as if glaring at a past enemy. We are the Forsaken. We never forget. I always thought I had seen enough dead people during my time at war, but today I realized we remember. That is why we are here. Whether flesh or machine, humanity is still just dust in the wind. Even settlements fare little against the gale. The enemy who wants to destroy us is so powerful that, even with my knowledge of war, I can't find a way to defeat them. Descendants, what must we do to defeat you? But no matter how many times you destroy us, people will remember. Atop these ruins, they will build anew. And this, you will never understand why. And even if you did, you have made your presence known here. We won't just sit here and let you run free. When can we go out? We can leave once the captain fights away the bad guys. Until then, we need to be good and wait here. I haven't seen an attack like this in all my life. With that timid Stason in charge, we'd better count our lucky stars. Even so, what other choice do we have? Are we gonna die? Of course not. Someone will rescue us. Evan, what should we do? I don't know if we can count on Mr. Stason either. But that's okay. The ARU isn't alone. We've also got the Forest Guard, Forsaken, and Babylonia there to help us. They won't let anything bad happen. Really? Don't forget Emburia and New Sophiasburg. Evan, I hear something. The child points in the direction of the sound. A light knocking is heard vibrating through the heavy reinforced steel doors. Evan rushes forward and looks through the periscope. A moment later, people can hear the sound from the outside world. Anyone there? We're here to rescue you. We're in here. Well, the kids and all the innocent people of the story are still alive. It sounds like basically all the military personnel that we all hated are dead. Some of the fishermen are probably still there, but I can live with that. Jeez, though, Luna literally just came in, blew the place up. I don't know what she did. You expected death? Yeah, I mean, a lot of people did die. But hey, at least the people that hid in the shelters lived. Fair. But yeah, I want to know why Luna needed that antenna. If she's gonna use the antenna, or if she was trying to destroy it so people couldn't use it. because the voice earlier, which I have a funny feeling might have been Chu, said that did Huashu's master really change? And I kind of wonder if Chu wanted that antenna destroyed because that antenna would be able to reach the Tabula Akasha. Because as far as we know, it's just a giant underground server. So any powerful antenna, any powerful communication device might be able to reach it. So it would make sense for Chu to want Huashu to destroy the antenna if it could potentially be a threat to her people. But it's hard to say.